I was 6 and I was in Hull and I was at a little junior school called Cavendish Road Junior School, and I was chosen to be a gorse fairy in the Nutcracker. I had a green and yellow outfit and it was my first outing onto the stage. So if you like, that was the first time I'd spoken in public at 6. Also, at the age of 6, I started to learn to play the piano. Piano was the kind of chosen instrument within the home for you to get together to sing around. I found that having learnt the piano from the age of 6, my last performance was at the Civic Carol concert last week when I played for the councillors' choir. But people like you to play the piano when you're a teacher, because teachers who can play the piano can go into primary schools and teach children music and play in assemblies and things like that. So all the way through my teaching career, which started at the age of 22, I've been playing the piano for various musical groups. Playing the piano is something that I would recommend to everybody. It doesn't matter what age you are, because some of the people that you've just seen on there started what they were doing at an older age. A lady who's been with me right the way through my entire career, as it were. She's called Joan Byers, and I don't know if any of you have heard of her, but have you heard of Joan Byers? Yes. Well, she's still going strong and she's still playing concerts, and I still go and see her when she's at Manchester Bridgewater Hall. But she's been with me through my life, and I started to play Joan Byers songs on my guitar rather than picking out the tunes that this man was trying to teach me. I'm not a very good guitarist, but it serves me well, because Joan Byers has seen me through bereavement, through being a bit depressed, through frustration, everything. I pick up my guitar, I can sing and play. It doesn't matter that there's no audience, just my 4 walls, whatever. And she's been with me right the way through my life.
Hello, my name is Yasmin. And yes, I think I did not know that I have a hidden art, which was brought out by Sarwar. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I wish I would have been given the opportunity when I was young. At that time, the culture, it didn't allow us, you know. But I think nowadays, one can, if they want to, you know, progress. And brought a singer out of us, Sarwar.
I think that was opportunity for us, for the ladies. They all have a bit of hidden talents, whether it's a knitting, whether it's a sewing, whether it's embroidery and everything. Now, like we've got a knitting club in here. We used to have that in somebody's house, this lady's house, for over 2 years ago. I've always enjoyed the knitting. I won't talk about the music, but I'll talk about the knitting. That's another art. And it's a hidden, at the moment, it's a dying art. Embroidery, sewing, knitting, things like that, what we used to do as a child, is disappearing. So we try to promote that again. So we've got this group going here in Wednesday. Anybody who wants to come in, they can join in 12 o'clock every Wednesday. So it's a fun. Whichever art you like, whether it's a sewing, whether it's a poetry, whether it's a painting, whatever, if you're enjoying it, you make the most of it. And that's what the knitting class is doing. They make the most of it. It's not social gathering. They bring their knitting, they've done something, they've achieved. When they wear it, they say, oh, I've done that. That is a pride for them. And I'm glad they're doing it. So I rather encourage other people to take a part in embroidery, sewing, whatever they fancy. Anything they do, because all these, like painting, when we were at school, we were taught painting. It was like a hobby as well. But then it's fade away. Same with the sewing, same with the embroidery, same with everything. And I wish we can bring all these things back. And it was lovely to see all the painting the people do and how much they enjoy. Same with the music. I'd rather they do the same, those embroidery things like parents used to do the embroidery. Olden days, Victorian times, everything was done by hand. Absolutely. Why can't we do it now? Yeah. So let's start with that today.
My name is Nahmana Kamal, and I started writing poetry when I was only 10 years old. And it is published poetry. Now I have 12 published books. So a few lines I have written in English for English people as well this morning. and 2 lines in Urdu as well. First, I'm going to recite my English lines, my first love. He's not talking to me. He is not talking to me, but I can listen to him. He is hidden from my eyes, but I can see him. But I can see him with inner eyes of my soul. He gives a treasure of all things to someone and can give someone nothing. I know I cannot touch. I know I cannot touch him, but I can feel him in my breath. He is alone, but he is with everyone. He is alone, but he is with everyone and everywhere. When I ever feel sadness, I share my grief with him. He is my first love, undoubtedly. He is my first love, undoubtedly. पनाह जिगर में वफा सांस की रवानी में, पनाह जिगर में वफा सांस की रवानी में, यही तो चाहिए औरत को जिंदगानी में. और ज़रा सी छाँव घनी धूप के थपेड़ों में, ज़रा सी छाँव घनी धूप के थपेड़ों में, ज़रा सी छत की तलब बारिशों के पानी में, और ज़रा सा होश मोहब्बत की रह गुज़र के लिए, ज़रा सा जोश निगाहों की मैं पुरानी में. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सरवर साहब.
Okay, thank you very much, and I'm delighted to be here, listening to Janet and listening to the poetry, but also the people on the video as well. When I got the invitation, which came through, there was 4 very important words on there which had to come along, and it says arts, media, health and well-being. And I think what I've seen and heard this morning is exactly that. That arts, creative, whether it came in the door and it was ladies knitting, paintings, drawing, dancing, singing, drama, all these things are things that take us into being full human beings. It's the pathways to our hearts and the pathway to our souls. And I think that's so important. Very often, people, as we just heard, people have lost those skills, lost that capacity to be creative. We can do things, but we are creative beings as well. We are people who do wonderful, marvellous things. And what's very important about being creative is very often we do it together because we're social animals. And the worst thing you can do to a human being is to put them alone, isolate them, take away their drawing facilities, take away their musical instruments, take away their knitting needles. And what do we become? We become nothing. And I think what I've seen and heard today is Rochdale being that place where people are expressing themselves, and people are making Rochdale this fantastic place to be in. And the reason why is because people are so creative. The imagination is the most powerful thing we've got. Its strongest muscle in our body is our imagination. And I've seen it at practice here in Rochdale time and time again.
Hello, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sarvari, and I came to England when I was 11. So before I came to England, I was maybe 8, 9, 10-year-old. I used to make dollies' clothes by hand, and I used to knit on the, the broomstick you have in Pakistan. I used to break the back of it, and I used to knit on that. Just dollies' clothes. And when we used to go to our grandparents' house in Lahore, there used to be a gentleman who used to make clay things. And I used to copy of him when I used to come back home, make it just into clay things. And then they used to have a big, like an oven, well, we call it oven, but it was a big fire thing. And they used to put all the, I don't know what they call it. And they used to make it like a proper, so you could put water in and that. And I used to make all that when I was only 8, 9, 10. So when I came here, I didn't know a word of English. And I thought, we used to hear in Pakistan, these houses are made here, made of glass. And I thought, it'll be all glass, no walls or nothing. So when we came here, I went to school, and I didn't know a word of English, and I didn't know how to write or nothing, yes, no, nothing like that. And my father sent me a shop the second day we came here. He had been here since 1962. and we came in 1968. So he says to me, go and buy £2 onions. And there used to be corner shops then. So I was going there and I was revising £2 onions, £2 onions. When I got there, I forgot. So I got 2 onions and I came back home. And my father says, oh, where's £2? I said, well, it was 2. So I've really enjoyed my life. And then my mum used to sew, at home. And I used to help her. She did all the straight lines and everything on the trousers. And I did the zips and the waistband for her. I used to go to school, come back home, do all that for her. And then it went on for a while. And then the tenant who lived upstairs to us, he told my father, he says, Ali, take Sarvari out of school and she can help you with because at that time it was very, very tight with money. So I left school on Friday and went into sewing. And I've been in sewing all that time up to now. I do alterations, and I do fostering, and I do ladies Pakiza group, and I do knitting and nutting.
Arts is amazing because arts reveals the soul, doesn't it? That's what it is. We've all got souls, and God has given us that as a gift, and we've got to use it. Now, people have got talent. Everyone in this room has got talent. And I do believe that it's sad if you don't use that talent or find out what that talent is. And that's what art is all about, isn't it? It can be cooking, can't it? It can be something really simple. I mean, like, as we just explained, sewing and knitting. Amazing skills that ladies have at doing that sort of thing. I love the theatre. As Janet has said early on, I have a pantomime with the kids. And every year, as I've done for the last 40 years, I produce a pantomime in our local village. And it is a traditional English thing, and it is good fun. And what it does, it puts confidence in children. They come up onto the stage, and children love to perform. Children love to sing and dance and do things. They love it, and they love people watching them. And this gives them the opportunity. And what it does, it builds confidence, and it builds a better person because they are what the people we want. Those are the ones that we need in the future. And also it makes friends. Now this is the biggest thing about the arts. It allows us to communicate with people we didn't know before. We make friends with them. They become friends for the rest of our lives. Now I'm Assistant Portfolio for Adult Care. And one of the most dangerous things for our health and well-being is loneliness. And the arts fight that. The arts give us something to grip hold of. Do you understand? If we lose a loved one, we still have friends from what we've been doing in the past or what we're doing at present. So this is where it comes, whether you do it with music like Mohammed Sawar does, or whether you do it like Janet does with, she does everything. Janet's into all sorts of things. That's a multi-talented woman. You understand that? Or whether you do it with cookery, or whether you do it with painting. I had a wonderful brother who sadly has died now, who could paint amazing pictures, and he also did scenery. He did scenery for my pantomimes, and I still have it. And now it's every year it comes out, and every year my brother comes out. Do you understand, when I see him? So the memories are there as well with arts. So it's a gift from God, is arts, and we've got to value it and love it and use it, because that's what we need to do. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name's Pam Ashton. I know Janet. We seem to keep crossing paths, don't we? I've been working with Mohammed for quite some time now on various projects. Really, really enjoy it. I'm retired, 10 years. I've been widowed 20 years. And when I was busy and when the children were small and when I was working, I didn't have any time for the arts. Too busy being a mum, a wife, all the other things. Now I've got time to indulge in painting, writing, poetry, and helping out here with Mohammed. And I just want to do a little plug, actually, because we're starting a new writing and poetry class here. It has been piloted before a few weeks ago, but we're starting another class in the new year. And if anybody is interested, leave your details today and we'll get in touch with you. And thank you for my involvement here. It's a privilege and it's an honour to work with everyone here. Thank you so much.
You know, when you do events like this, you find out the other side of people, and which is always great to find out. You know, some things that I didn't know about Billy. I didn't know he was a director of the pantomime, you know. And then so many things about what you said, and it's just that you're a professional musician, etc., conductor, you know, and it's great to find out. And when you create the environment and you find out the people that you know for so long, you know, this is the great things about them, or the skills that they have. I've just been very brief with mine. I started as an engineer. I came in 71, didn't know a word of English, still don't. I still stutter. So I got my education here. So I was 11 when I came here. It was just a new world for me, very excited and everything. I got my education here, then I became an engineer, a spring maker. And Rochdale was one of the main hub for spring making. So I became an engineer, but I was too old for the apprenticeship. So Robert Riley's gave me the apprenticeship, and I had to finish in 2 years, which I was okay to do. And then just by incident, one of my colleague from the firm said, we're having a birthday party, and there's a band coming to our house. Come, and I liked singing. So I went, and I sang with this group for the first time ever, and I seems to be in beat. And they says, oh, great, you know, join our group. And this is where he's got me. And so I joined the group, and I started, because I wanted to sing, and but they had singers within the group, so they put me on the tabla. And I did all right in tabla, and then just the passion built up. And there was a course at Dartington College of Arts in Devon, and I found out about it, so I applied to Rochdale Council for a grant. And when the application went, they said, Indian music, this is 1984. We don't recognize this, it's not in the system. Yeah. And so I appealed through John Beasley, yeah, and Ali Zaidi, who was a department of the Urdu department. He was a teacher, you know, in charge. You know, give this guy a chance. So I got this discretionary grant. And I went and studied. After a year later, I was a peripatetic music teacher. And God knows how much money I brought in this town since then. You know, the diversity, the engagement side. And when I was at Dartington, that's when I discovered the world of arts. I was engaged with gamelan, Western music, African music, Japanese music. There was masters from all over the world coming to teach us, you know. And so that's when I sort of discovered myself. So my second study was piano. So I studied up to grade 4. And then I ended up conducting a two-piece brass band at Gracie Field Theatre. Anyway, I started my career in the world of music. Then I was employed as a musician resident by Cleveland Arts and traveled around the country learning. And then the education started coming, what I felt the need to educate people, the wider community, and to bring the workshops, the performances in schools, colleges, community centres. So I learned with the best of people, still learning, from multicultural education advisors, head of music, and the Cleveland Arts was a turning point for me because I was taught how to write courses, how to develop workshops, etc., etc., and then develop Melas across the country. I became a secretary for European Mela Network, looking at policies, strategies, and safety of events, artist sharing. And I'm actually trained by the Arts Councils as one of the few cultural leaders in the country, and mentored by Robert, artistic director from the Lowry Theatre. Mm-hmm. So looking at engagement sites, why we do things, colour schemes, traveled to in UK, Europe, and then India with the festival directors, and then started writing a few music books as well. And then I became a bit of a singer. In '98, I was one of the first person to sing in Pakistani movies. And so the whole career began then. So I had a band. I performed in places like the Bridgewater Hall, Philharmonic Hall, Coastal Hall, Bristol, Wembley Theatre. So it's been a wonderful journey, and it's only because of arts. It brings people to you and vice versa. and then to be engaged with diverse peoples, that's another opening, absolutely another opening, because you learn so much.
I'm in the Multicultural Art and Media Center with Mohammed Sarwar. My name is Asim Rashid. I'm an elected member from Rothschild Council. Today, Mr. Sarwar has organized an event, Journey Through Arts, and he's trying to bring the communities together. And Rothschild Council has always helped Mr. Sarwar, and our Rothschild Council appreciate his work towards the community for integration and diversity. And I think in this time, when a lot of issues and problems, just like Islamic phobia, racism, and some hate crimes going on into the community, this is the time when we can bring the communities together. And Mohammed Sarwar is doing a brilliant job, and we need to support his work. We need to support him as financially, morally, and Rothschild Council is also giving him some support. And I think we all need to support to his work, which is brilliant for all our communities across the board.
Can I just thank the Rothschild Township for funding us for this project. It's been a fantastic work that's been participated by various artists from the diverse communities. So thank you for your support and the Township Committee.
Thank you.